What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Maverick Raven, and today, right now, I'm coming at you with the left's salty tears, man. They are still not over the SCOTUS decision, and I can't blame them, man. They hate Donald Trump, and they just want whatever it'll take, whatever they can do to get him out of the ballot before, the worst happens and he becomes Mr. 47. He'd be 45 and 47 if he gets it. So I just want to show you a couple a couple of the left just absolutely losing it. As you can see here, Trump is guilty of inciting an insurrection, true or false. Chaotic leftist. She's a lunatic though. She's always posting these crazy things on there. Keith Olbermann absolutely lost his absolute just ever-loving mind, man. He went on Twitter and he wants to talk about Orange Man bad, but look at this. Look at this. And then there was one where he said, he said he had one yesterday. Look, it's almost as if the conservatives on the Supreme Court were too stupid or too corrupt to follow this in unanswerable logic. Keith Olbermann completely, just absolutely losing his mind. And he's not even alone. You've got this little this little ditty from the Daily Show.
By the way, the Supreme Court, 9-0. The ruling was let Donnie cook. Desi, Democrats have to be disappointed in this ruling.
Yes, Democrats are doing more shower crying than normal today, John. But they are still confident that a conviction in the January 6th trial can keep Trump out of the White House.
But Desi, that's seemingly not likely going to happen before Election Day.
Right. But fortunately, Trump has 3 other criminal trials coming up. One of those has to be a conviction, so Democrats are optimistic.
But Trump can still be president if he's convicted. I mean, none of the cases would stop that.
Right. I'm glad you brought that up, John. Democrats say if none of these cases go their way, there is still another avenue to pursue.
The getting more votes scenario.
They're not there yet. They were going to lay Reese's Pieces out in a trail that leads into a golden tent labeled Mar-a-Lago that can only be zipped from the outside.
I still think the more votes...
Democrats find a witch. The witch turns Donald Trump into a bird. The bird isn't there on Election Day, having already migrated to a warmer climate.
I mean, for starters, thank God that the Daily Show's funny again, right? And then you got Jon Stewart here, man, just laying it out how it is. Shower crying. That's a great way to describe it, shower crying. And speaking of shower crying, look at this one. Another leftist losing her absolute ever-loving mind. Colorado Secretary of State Jena Griswold expresses disappointment with Trump Supreme Court victory. See, here's the thing. That says disappointment. What it really should say is expresses batshit crazy sentiment, because she went absolutely full-on 50-cat lady crazy. The Supreme Court has ruled Donald Trump can appear on the Colorado ballot in the upcoming Super Tuesday caucuses. Colorado Secretary of State Jena Griswold says that she is disappointed with the Supreme Court's 9-0 decision, allowing former President Trump to appear on the Colorado ballot in the upcoming Super Tuesday caucuses. In a recent decision, the Supreme Court ruled President Trump couldn't be removed from the ballot by individual states, overturning a Colorado court's decision that found him ineligible as a candidate and disqualified from the state ballot under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. The part of the amendment disqualifies people from holding office, civil or military, if they have engaged in insurrection or rebellion. Mind you, again, I know I keep saying this, and I know everybody keeps saying this, he has not been proven guilty in inciting anything. Okay? They don't even have him. This has to be one of the most investigated men in the history of our country. And they have very, very little that they've been able to get on him. Okay? In a March 4th MSNBC interview, I saw that, posted to her ex account, Miss Griswold said her larger reaction to the news has been one of disappointment. I do believe that states should be able, under our Constitution, to bar oath-breaking insurrectionists, she says. Maybe we should bar you from holding office too, Miss Griswold. Ultimately, this decision leaves open the door for Congress to act to pass authorizing legislation, but we know that Congress is a nearly non-functioning body, so ultimately it will be up to the American voters to save our democracy in November. In other words, she's straight up admitting it to you right there. We tried to take him off the ballot, you guys. We tried to prevent a Trump presidency, but we just couldn't do it. Does that sound like America to you guys? Because it doesn't sound like America to me. I mean, this has to be some of the most fascistic stuff. And you want to talk about the projection, the absolute projection that these people have. Everything that they want to accuse the conservatives and Trump of doing, and these feelings that we supposedly have of being in a cult and all that, that's really the left, you guys. All you got to do is just look at the telltale signs where you can have a different opinion, where you immediately get shouted down. You know, it's obvious. It says, according to a press release from Miss Griswold's office, a lawsuit was filed by voters on September 6, 2023, seeking to bar President Trump from the Colorado ballot under the provisions as per Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. They cited President Trump's alleged role in riling up protesters, which they claim led to January 6, 2021, breach of the Capitol as evidence of engaging in insurrection. Okay, they really need a press editor, man. December 19th, 2023 ruling in the Colorado Supreme Court ruled that President Trump did engage in insurrection, and those actions disqualified him from the presidential primary ballot in Colorado. Mind you, he engaged in insurrection, and the court of law just said he did. So we're now reaching the Orwellian state where we just say you did it, so you did it. We don't need a trial. You don't need evidence. You don't need witnesses. You don't need experts. You don't need any of that good stuff. We said you did it, so you did it. However, it also ordered, President Trump to be placed on the ballot during his appeal to the United States Supreme Court, which was ultimately successful. The Supreme Court has ruled states can't enforce Section 3 for national candidates, but that the Constitution empowers Congress to prescribe how those determinations should be made. Now, Trump went on, and he went on, I believe it was Truth Social, and, he spoke about how crazy this has been and how great this is for the country. And it is great for the country, you guys. I know that if you look at social media, everybody's losing their minds. Everybody's, talking about how this is the end of democracy. Remember, we're not a democracy. We are a representative constitutional republic. We are represented by people that, yes, on a state level, they get voted in by a democratic process. They don't have an electoral college at the state level. But for the national elections, for the president, we need the electoral college, because the president needs to be able to represent people in Central Florida, like where I live, and in New York City, the same. But the problem is that New York City and Florida, for example, do not have the same interests. We don't have the same concerns. So we can't be depending on someone who is there only because of the New York City vote, or only because of the Los Angeles vote. You get me? But just some things to think about, you guys. As always, be safe, be good to one another, and stay based.